now let's move over to, we also have community and communication. But I think that's also something that we already touched on. Here on the upper hand right corner, you will be moved to a Slack instance where you can communicate with the community, where you can contact the community. There's a mailing. Here's the community Slack channel.
Wait, can I touch on the community, if you don't mind? So I'll just take the screen from you. And do you guys see my screen?
It's coming up.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so as Marcel mentioned, so a lot of our direct communication happens from Slack, which is open to the public, and anybody can join, and you can find that on the icon over here, and just like get an instant invite and accept. So this is the Slack channel. If you are joining, one of the key places to join is the announcements channel. This is where we post a lot of our major announcements, like, oh, we have a new cluster available, you can check it out here, or some critical service is down. We put as part of our incident process, we notify it here as well as GitHub. We try to do so this is a free Slack, so messages don't persist after a certain amount of time. So that's why we try to put everything in Git as well. Touch on that in a second. If you're interested in the operations conversation, that happens in the ops, which is one of the most, if not the most active Slack channel. And that's where a lot of us kind of hang out and chat about like what's going on, what's broken, and what have you. As you can see, support's already kind of pinging. That's where everybody who's not kind of like part of the operations team asks questions. It's like the first go-to usually for people. They'll ask a question, and you can see that Anand has asked a question, and he's asking who is on call this week. So we have a Slack bot, which was beautifully written by Tom, and it is a free bot. Anybody can use it, and it is also deployed in our environment. What it basically does is it allows for a couple of different things. One of them is it keeps a list of on-call people that can answer, that is basically designated a certain set of roles that they're in charge of or responsible for that particular week. And if you can, one of the things that you can do is you can go to the Slack and ask like, okay, who is on call this week? And the bot will respond that it is me. And this question is kind of, whenever somebody asks a question in support, it will prompt them, do you want to ping like the on-call person and ask them to help you, and they can choose to do that. There's also other things. So like I said, it is a free Slack, so we try to persist, but in general, we try to put all the important information in Git for people to kind of search and find. If there's a discussion happening about how to resolve a specific issue, we want to put all of that in Git, but we understand that, it's a lot easier and faster to just talk in direct chat. So what you can do with the bot is you can, if you say you're having like some discussion and, this person named Harsha is having an issue, we help them out. And then we're like, okay, but it'd be nice if we can store this information and Git for other people to find out, right? So another thing you can do with the bot is you can go click this kind of ellipsis and say, okay, create an issue from this thread, right? And then the bot will then allow us to put the contents of this thread into GitHub, into whichever repo it is most appropriate for, right? So that is the kind of just general like around. We also have some other channels like the interns channel, because we have some interns that we'd like to help. So you can, if you're interested, check them all out. But key one to take note of is announcements and the ops channel. And then we also have the repo. This is where I mentioned earlier, support channel. So we direct people here whenever they want to be onboarded to the cluster, if they want a cluster added, or we have like, we encourage them to go to the supports repo and make an issue. So that's kind of the first place where you can request services and all that stuff. If you click new issue, you'll see that there's already certain templates that are available and ready for you to kind of use and fill out. So for example, if you want to be, we also use like in the newly added like GitHub issue forms. So it's kind of like in a form fashion. It's like, oh, I want to be onboarded to this cluster. Click this template. It's like, oh, I want to target, I want to pick like the 0 cluster. I'm part of this team, blah, blah, blah. And you fill this out and you can be added to the cluster. You can also if you want to be onboarded, for example, you can fill this out and then have an admin person respond and do it. But if you want it done faster, we also link on how you can do this yourself, which is kind of one of the benefits of what we're trying to do via GitOps, is that people can do this stuff themselves, right? So, this is something that an operations person can do, but because we put everything in Git and then it gets deployed onto Argo CD via Argo CD, then this allows for anybody around the world to make that PR, and then all we have to do is just look at the PR and be like, yeah, this looks good, accept, and then Argo CD deploys it, and now they have onboarded themselves, right? So that's one thing that's really nice about this. And we try to also make that entire process even more easier by adding Jupyter books so that they don't have to worry about the environments and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that's the communication. So you got the website, the Slack, and the support channel.